Let's play number two, please. This is the National Security Advisor, Mr. Waltz, who was reported by both the Wall Street Journal and Politico this morning to be on thin ice today. As I said, got multiple endorsements from the president, and here he is defending himself. Number two, please.
We have our technical experts looking at it. We have our legal teams looking at it. And of course, we're going to keep everything as secure as possible. No one in your national security team would ever put anyone in danger. And as you've said, and we've repeatedly said, the attack was phenomenal and it's ongoing. But the media wants to talk about everything else except for the hostages you're getting out of the Middle East, Iran on its back foot, sea lanes getting reopened, peace in Europe. As we just saw today with a Black Sea ceasefire, we were just on with Steve Witkoff, myself, our team in Saudi Arabia. They want to talk about all this other stuff except for your amazing successes and the successes of your team.
All right, play number three. This is more from the National Security Advisor.
Right, true.
Mr. President, you asked about lessons. I think there's a lot of journalists in this city who have made big names for themselves, making up lies about this president, whether it's the Russia hoax or making up lies about Gold Star families. And this one in particular, I've never met, don't know, never communicated with, and we are looking into and reviewing how the heck he got into this room. But I'll tell you what, the world owes President Trump a favor. Under Biden, global shipping was shut down. Pinprick attacks, months between them, our destroyers being fired upon dozens of times. President Trump took decisive action with his national security team, took out the head missileer, knocked out missiles, knocked out headquarters, knocked out communication sites. And for once, as we hear, as you will all hear from every one of our allies, thank God for American leadership again. Thank God for American strength. You're welcome, Lord.
Okay, we can get out of this. So there's two confusing things. One is the question of what's in the chain. Was there national security conversation or not? The other is, according to Jeffrey Goldberg, Mr. Waltz reached out to him on Signal, and he accepted the invite, and that's how presumably he got on the chain. Waltz seems to be saying he'd never heard of Jeffrey Goldberg, doesn't have anything to do with Jeffrey Goldberg. So I want to play something else, but if either of you want to comment on those two sound bites from the National Security Advisor, I'd welcome it. Hogan, anything you want to say about what he said?
No, again, I mean, I think if you're going to have the conversation, you have to put it in context. And I thought Waltz did a great job kind of outlining the differences in the past administration versus this administration, and also keeping your eye on the ball of what matters here. And that was a surgical military strike that was executed flawlessly.
Two things matter here, Mark. One, and most importantly, as I said, there are a lot of dangerous people in the world who are trying to hack into these people's phones. And that information that we have heard was on that chain could have been passed along to people and could have put American service people in danger. Second,
hold on, Hogan.
Second, Jeffrey Goldberg did not hack into this chain. He was added to this chain by someone, one of the 18 people on this chain. He says it was the National Security Advisor, who says he has no idea. If he has no idea who he is, why was his number on his phone? Many issues that somebody should investigate. The Congress potentially could investigate, but let's get the whole chain. Let's look into these people's phones. Let's figure out who they were communicating with, how they were communicating, and were they using secure ways to exchange what was potentially certainly sensitive and maybe classified information.
Let me just add one point to this. The amount of times in the White House where I was for 4 years in the previous administration, as you point out, Mark, that they would just come in and take our work phones and destroy them. It was after every foreign trip, of which there were many. It was just random times throughout the year, because foreign governments are always trying to get into our phones, have our information, have our data. And I saw a lot of examples in real time in front of me where people would show us how they would do it by hacking on a computer and just take care of it right that. So what I'm saying is using Signal would not open it up any more than how it already is wide open to the world.
Hogan, would you be allowed to back up your contacts before they took your phone away?
No.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't be, maybe people shouldn't be on their phones having this conversation. Maybe they should be in a secure skiff having these conversations.
So Steve, you say that. We talked about this morning. And I'm totally fascinated by the fact that the Pentagon or that the CIA not only approves the use of Signal apparently, but installs it. And presumably they install it with some expertise that they think makes it less likely to be hacked. Um, but it's not practical for these people to
Right.
all go to a skiff at the same time. It's just not practical. It's just not modern.
Mark, I've read stories that, in fact, it is practical. They all travel with extensive security details.
They
They have
do, but
portable
setting
skiffs that can be set up.
they
This is part
it
of the
takes
job.
it takes a while to Steve. All I'm saying is just hear me out. I understand what you're saying. Setting up a portable skiff takes time, and if you just want to answer one text to set up the whole thing and to send one text, it's not very modern. And all I'm saying is if it's a factual matter, as the Republicans claim, that in the Biden administration, the intelligence community's lawyers said and IT people said it is safe, not for classified information, but for conversations. It's safe to use Signal on your government phone. That's a different thing than we thought 24 hours ago. And it's shocking to me, but it appears to be true, at least in some parts of the government.